All right, we're doing the chapter 2 review. Again, don't just study the review. You have to study your quiz and all the PowerPoints, definitions that I sent you guys so you're prepared for the test. The test is about 15 to 20 questions, free response, multiple choice. I want to say it's half and half. So you're going to have half multiple choice, half free response questions. So please, please, please make sure you're studying. Again, if you didn't finish this, please make sure you're copying it down. All right, we are going to go ahead and start with number 1. It says use a diagram to determine whether the statement is true or false. Points D, G, and F are collinear. What does collinear mean? On the same line. So D, G, and F, are they on the same line? No, so the answer for this one is going to be false. All right, looking at the next one, angle ABH is a right angle. ABH is right here. Is this a right angle? Yes or no? No, why are we saying no? There's no angle here, right? Okay, but we learned definition of vertical angle. Vertical angle is what? Vertical angles are always the same. These are vertical angles. I'm highlighting in green. So if angle IBC is 90 degrees, angle ABH should also be 90 degrees. So this is going to be a true statement. All right, looking at the next one, angle ABH. ABH is right here. And CBH are complementary. Are these two angles complementary angles? What does complementary mean? Complementary is equal to 90. Okay, don't forget that C could be changed into a 9, and then you have an O. So you have a 90. So are those angles complementary? No. Okay, if you add the two angles, it equals 180. That's not complementary. So this is false. All right, looking at number 4. IH is perpendicular to line M. True or false? True, they're perpendicular. How can I tell they're perpendicular? What does perpendicular mean? Perpendicular, perpendicular. Perpendicular, you have a sign like this. That means perpendicular. Perpendicular means your angles are 90 degrees. So if this angle is 90 degrees, then all of my angles will be 90 degrees. So this, yes, is true. All right, looking at the next one, DEH. DEH. Angle DEH and angle FEH are supplementary. Is that true? Yes. Okay. Number 5 is true. Makes a 180 degree angle. And then the last one, CB, right here, is perpendicular to line L. Is that true or false? True or false, guys? CB is perpendicular to line L. It's false. This would not be false because they're showing me that it is 90 degrees. Remember, perpendicular is a 90 degree angle. So this is also true. Perpendicular means 90 degrees. So please make sure you know that. Again, if you didn't do this, this was for you guys to complete by this morning at 8 a.m. It is late. All right, it says determine whether the conditional statement is true. If false, give a counter example. What is counter example? Yes.
Something that counters the main idea.
Okay, something that proves it to be false. Okay, so if they're telling me a statement, I need to find one way to at least prove that it's incorrect. So my conditional statement for number 7 is, if two planes intersect, then they intersect in exactly 1 point. Is this true or false? Okay, if two planes intersect, then they intersect at exactly 1 point. Is this true or false? Anybody? Guys, this is something you should have already done, so it should be completed. True or false? Let me see. This is true. If I show you two planes, they're going to intersect at 1 point. No, two planes intersect at exactly what? 1 line. So this is false. Okay, they cannot intersect at 1 point. That's incorrect. This is false. They intersect at exactly 1 line, not point. What intersects at exactly 1 point? 2 lines. Okay, so here are 2 lines. They intersect right here. But 2 planes intersect at a line. All right, looking at number 8. If 2 lines intersect, then they form 4 angles. True or false? True. Here's intersecting lines. Here are 4 angles. This one is true. All right, write the converse and inverse of this statement. Converse and inverse. So looking at the first one, it says, if it's Sunday, then it is the weekend. How would I write this as a converse statement?
It is the weekend or Sunday.
Good. I'm just flipping them for converse. So let me make this actually a little smaller. If it is the weekend, then it is Sunday. All right, how would I write this as an inverse? If it is not Sunday, then it is not the weekend. All right, they're not asking me to state if it's true or false. They're just asking me to rewrite it. So that's all you really had to do for this one. Go quickly. All right, if the measure of angle A is 95 degrees, then angle A is obtuse. How would I write this as converse? Converse. How would I write this as a converse statement? How would I write this as a converse statement? Yeah.
If angle A is obtuse, then angle A equals 95.
Good. If angle A is obtuse, then the measure of angle A is 95 degrees. How do I write this as an inverse? Everyone should have at least have it done. You guys will have to write conditional statements on your test. It's not multiple choice, you will have to write them. Yeah. Good. Okay, so you're just adding the word not. If angle A, or if the measure, I'll write it that way. If the measure of angle A is not 95 degrees, then angle A is not obtuse. All right, and the last one, how would I write the last one? Converse. How would I write the converse statement? All right, if an animal has 2 eyes, then it is a bird. And then inverse, if an animal is not a bird, then it does not have 2 eyes. All right, questions on those? You did converse and inverse.
So these are like the questions that are free response? Or like
Mhm.
free responses?
It would be a free response question, yes. All right, law of detachment. Use the law of detachment to determine what you can conclude from the given information if possible. So looking at this, we have to figure out what we can conclude about the statement. If 3 points lie on the same line, they are collinear. Points A, B, and C lie on the same line. What can I conclude? Yes.
A, B, and C are collinear.
Good. They are collinear. Points A, B, and C are collinear. Good. All right, if it is hailing, then you are not going outside. It is hailing.
You're not going outside.
Good, you're not going outside. Any questions on these so far? Not outsides. Outside. Questions, comments, concerns before we go to the next page? Okay. All right, law of syllogism. Use the law of syllogism to draw a conclusion to write a new conditional statement that follows from the pair of true statements if possible. So looking at this, if a quadrilateral is a square, then it has 4 right angles. If a quadrilateral has 4 right angles, then it is a rectangle. How would I rewrite this?
The quadrilateral is a square, then it's a rectangle.
Good, so I'm getting rid of what's overlapping. I'm taking out this. And I'm just rewriting my statement. If a quadrilateral, that's not a Q, that's a G. Nope, that's a highlighter. Come on. All right, if a quadrilateral is a square, then it is a rectangle. All right, if a number ends in 0, then it is divisible by 10. If a number is divisible by 10, then it is divisible by 5. How would I rewrite this? Good, I'm getting rid of what's overlapping. If a number ends in 0, then it is divisible by 5. All right, solve the equation, justify each step. Okay, I need my statements and my reasons. I'm setting it up as my T-charts, and I'm giving every single detail that I'm doing. So here are my statements, here are my reasons. I'm going to solve it before I do my reasons. Okay, so from number 1, what should I do? I'm solving it first. Okay, number 1, what should I do? What am I going to do first? Yeah. Okay, number 1 is going to be given, yeah? Now what should I do?
Multiply
Multiply what?
by -2.
Good, I'm multiplying both sides by -2. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it. I'm going to have x plus 3 equals -16. Now what should I do to both sides? Good, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 3. X is going to equal is it negative? Nope, negative 19. Why doesn't this thing erase? All right, so given is my first one. What's my second one? Good, multiplication property of equality. And what's my third one? Subtraction property of equality. Again, this is a grade. If you didn't turn it in, it already is a 0 in the grade book. So please make sure you're copying all this down because I'm writing it. You should be able to write it. All right, number 19. Same thing. I have my statements. I have my reasons. What's my reason number 1? Given. And then I'm going to go ahead and solve it. Okay. All right, now what should I do? I'm going to solve it first. What am I going to do?
Subtraction property of equality.
Add 3.
Okay, Jaden, you said subtraction property of equality, but what am I going to subtract?
4x on both sides.
Okay, we're going to do the 4x. If you wanted to add 3, Miguel, that's fine. We should still get the same answer. Okay, so as long as we get the same answer, sometimes some of us will do a different process, but we should still get the same answer, and obviously I'm checking it, so I will look it over. So now for 3, I'm going to get x minus 3 equals -8. What should I do now? I'm going to add 3. And what am I going to get for x? Negative what?
5.
Good. So, Jaden, you said the second step was what?
Distributive property.
Oh, what am I writing? It is distributive property. You guys could totally abbreviate. Just if you're doing substitution and subtraction, you need to write a little more letters than just 3. All right, 3 was what? Good. Subtraction, property of equality. Step 4, addition property, and I'm done. Addition property of equality, yes. All right, let's go ahead and do the last few on this page and then go to the next one. It says, identify the property that justifies the statement. So we covered reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. We're identifying those. So looking at 21, which one would this one be? Symmetric, okay? Think of your line of symmetry. Think of when you do the paint on the paper and you fold it and you open it. It's symmetric. So this one is symmetric property. All right, 22, reflexive. And then 23, transitive, you're getting rid of what's in the middle. Transitive. Remember, these are properties. Please do not put law of syllogism. That's not a property. That is a law. All right, I know 24 wasn't highlighted, but let's see if we could answer these. Number 1 would be what? Good, given. Keep in mind there are 2 givens because they're giving us 2 sets of information. All right, 3. What would 3 be? Good, definition of supplementary angles. They're telling me 1 and 2 are supplementary, and they're showing me what supplementary is. So good, this one's definition of supplementary angles, because I'm dealing with angles. And then step 4. Good, what am I substituting? The measure of angle 1. Let me grab a highlighter. The measure of angle 1. And I'm plugging it in for the measure of angle 1. It should actually be 135. It's just written wrong. So this is substitution. And then 5, what should I get? Keep in mind it's telling you subtraction properties, so you should have subtracted 135. And the measure of angle 2 is going to equal 45 degrees. It was 135 in the original written, but it's just written incorrectly in what was given. All right, questions on this page? All right, looking at this, let's go ahead and start with number 3. Write the converse of the conditional statement. If the converse is false, provide a counterexample. What does counterexample mean? Okay, proving something false. Okay, so I need to prove something false. So looking at it, writing a converse. If 2 angles are not adjacent, then they are vertical angles. How would I write this? Say it again, I can't hear. Okay, if 2 angles are vertical angles, they are not adjacent. So we have to know vocabulary. What does adjacent mean? It's from chapter 1. What does adjacent mean? Adjacent angles. Anybody? You guys have to study. Yes. Adjacent, yes, thank you, means next to each other. And vertical means what?
Across.
Across, good, opposite angles. So I'm going to draw this out. So let's think about it. If I have angles that are vertical, so it's telling me if you have 2 angles that are vertical, so here are my 2 vertical angles, they are not adjacent. Is that true or false?
True.
That's going to be true, okay? So this angle right here is vertical to this angle. And adjacent means it's next to. So if I'm showing you adjacent angles, this angle would be adjacent to this one. Okay, it's literally next to each other. They're sharing the same vertex and they're sharing the same side. So this would be a true statement. I don't have to change it. All right, looking at number 4. If x is odd, then 3x is odd. How would I write this as a converse? If 3x is odd, then x is odd. Is this true or false?
True.
This is true. Whenever you multiply 3 times an odd number, your answer will always be odd. All right, write the inverse of the conditional statements. How would I write number 5 as the inverse? Inverse. Think of inverse. How would I write this as an inverse? Say it again.
If an angle does not measure 30 degrees, not.
All right, so what am I just adding? What am I adding to this?
Not.
The word not, that's all. It's going to stay the same pattern. If an angle is 30 degrees, okay, then it is acute. I'm just adding the word not in there. So if an angle is not, or if an angle measure, we'll say is not 30 degrees, then it is not acute. All right, looking at number 6, if two angles are supplementary, then their sum is 180. How would I write this? Somebody else. How would I write this? Guys, you should have already had this completed. Yes, Dominic.
If an angle is not acute, then it does not measure 30 degrees.
No, for number 6. We're writing the inverse for number 6.
I have a question on the
What's your question?
So basically, for inverse, you add not for both.
For both of them. Well, it depends. You're writing the opposite of it. So if you already told me if an angle measures 30 degrees, then it is not an acute angle. If they put the not there already, then I'm taking the not out. Okay? Yeah.
If two angles are not supplementary, then their sum is not related.
Good. Are not supplementary, then their sum is not 180. All right, inverse, you're just negating it. Okay, you're just negating it. All right, contrapositive. How would I write for number 7, my contrapositive? Remember, it's the long word, so I have to do the most work. Jaden?
If it does not live in the forest, then the animal is not painted.
Good. I'm going to write it a little different, but that's still correct. All right, if an animal does not live in the forest, then it is not a panther. So same thing. All right, number 8. If two angles have the same measure, then they are congruent. Yes.
If two angles are not congruent, then the two angles do not have the same measure.
Good. If two angles are not congruent, then they, do not have the same measure. Good. All right, looking at number 9, it says points A, B, and L are coplanar. What does coplanar mean? On the same plane. So let me go ahead and identify those points. A, B, and L. Are they coplanar, yes or no? Yes. On the same plane, they are coplanar. This is a yes. This is true. We'll write true. All right. LJ lies on plane K. So here's LJ. Is LJ on plane K? Yes, this is also true. Oh my gosh, I just spelled that so wrong. All right, DF intersect AC. Here's DF. Does that intersect AC? No, keep in mind this dotted lines means it's behind the image. It's on a separate plane. So it, yes, looks like they're intersecting, but they're not intersecting because AC is behind it. It's not touching it. So this one is false. And looking at number 12, this one says points D, F, and E are collinear. Collinear means what?
On the same line.
On the same line. This is collinear? Yes. All right, 13, 14, 15. Justify each step. So I need to solve my equations. So I'm going to go ahead and do my T-chart, my statements, and my reasons. What's my first one? Given always. And then I'm going to go ahead and solve it. What should I do first? Subtract what?
7 on both sides.
Thank you. Subtract 7 on both sides. So now I'm going to get negative 8x equals negative 40. And what should I do to both sides? Divide by
8, negative 8.
negative 8. And what would I get for x?
Oh,
X equals 5. Let me go ahead and do my reasons. Please make sure you guys are checking your work. Number 2, what's my number 2? Robert?
Division oh no, subtraction.
Good. Subtraction property of equality. Kevin, what's my number 3?
I don't know.
Look at your paper. What's number 3? Guys, you should have studied this. Your test is tomorrow. David, help him out.
Division property of equality.
Division property, because I'm dividing by negative 8. Guys, this is your second test. After this, you only have one more. All right, 14. Statements, reasons. What's my first one? Given always. All right, what should I solve next? What should I do? Okay, we're going to add 5 first. Since that's what I heard, we're going to add 5 first. You could have done it a different way, but we should still get the same answer. I'm going to have 9x equals 3x plus 12. Now what should I do to both sides? Good. I'm subtracting 3x to both sides. I'm going to get 6x equals 12, yes. And then what should I do next? Divide both sides by 6, and x is going to equal. Good, so following my reasons, my second reason is addition property of equality. My third reason is subtraction property of equality. And my fourth reason is division property of equality. All right, we're gonna do 15. I have my statements and my reasons. My first reason is given. All right, what should I do next? Good, distribute. Not x. All right, now what should I do? All right, we're going to add 8 to both sides. Again, we could have done this differently depending on you, however you wanted to solve. Should we combine like terms or move? What do we want to do? We could do whichever way. Okay, I feel like most of you guys combined, so I'm going to combine my like terms. Here are my like terms. So I'm going to have 8x minus 14 equals 4 plus 2x. And then what should I do next? What do you want to move? Subtract 4 on both sides. All right, I'm going to get 8x minus 18 equals 2x. What should I do now? All right, I'm going to subtract 8x. Negative 18 equals negative 6x. Divide both sides by negative 6. I'm going to fit it over here. 6. I'm going to get 3 equals x, but now I'm going to change it to x equals 3. So writing these out, what did I do for number 2? Good, distribute. 3. Not subtraction for 3. Combine like terms, which is just simplify.
I thought you said you had to write something.
You have to write simplify. Well, that's fine if you skipped this. Because I would still know you got negative 14. All right, 4. Good. Subtraction property of equality. 5. No, 5 wouldn't be division property. 5 would also be subtraction property. 6 would be division. And then 7 would be symmetric. All right, let's go ahead and go to the last page. We're almost done. Inductive, deductive. Inductive has to do with patterns. Deductive has to do with facts. So looking at number 18, because today is Friday, tomorrow will be Saturday. Is that a pattern or a fact? Good, so this is deductive. Sandy earns A's on her first 6 geometry tests. So she concludes that she will earn A's on the geometry test. Fact or pattern? This is a pattern. She's continuing to earn A's. So this one is inductive. All right, 21. Which statement is that? Which property? Symmetric. 22, transitive. This one is substitution. The last one would be reflexive. All right, we have one more. Number 1 is given. Number 3 would be substitution, because you're substituting the measure, actually the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4, you're substituting it for 90. So looking here, this is staying the same. This is what's changing. They told me it was 90 degrees, and we know from this statement that 90 degrees equals the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4. All right, looking at number 4, the reason they're giving me is vertical. And looking at it, my vertical angles are the measure of angle 2 is congruent to the measure of angle 3, and I'm using the diagram for that. All right, looking at number 5, it says subtraction property. So what am I subtracting? Looking here, I can see that we are changing this and we're getting rid of the measure of angle 2. So with that being said, I know I'm going to be subtracting the measure of angle 2 from both sides. And then lastly, that gives me my answer. So 5 was substitution. I guess it's subtraction, but it's written as substitution. Substitution for 5 from here to here. Okay, that's how I'm getting my substitution. And then looking at it, number 6 is going to be subtraction. Subtraction, property of equality. All right, please make sure you guys study all your notes. Okay, you have to study all your notes. You have to study your PowerPoints, your past quiz, and the review. Please make sure you study.